Noob D&D Dad here, and we are talking session 46 of my son's campaign that I am the Noob DM for. So players are still in Dragonspear Castle that I have made up, and I have a little smoother drawing of it this time. Again, this isn't really meant for human consumption, this is just for me. So you have the first floor, then stairs leading up to like a giant dining room, and then additional stairs going up to a hallway, and then the Red Wizard's bedroom, and then a balcony. And then we'll learn about the basement here in a little bit, basement dungeon. So when I have the players fight a bunch of skeletons here, when they first got to the castle, there was like bodies everywhere, like skeleton bodies. And as they go through, they notice that there's no more skeletons on the ground. So it's just like a little flavor thing that shows that they've all gotten up and moved. But they did defeat the Red Wizard last time, and so this time they need to dig through his drawers. So when the Red Wizard was alive, I had the whole upstairs area just be really nice and like it's brand new. And same thing in his bedroom, like it was really like clean and looked like he lived there. But now that he's dead, it looks like really old and ancient and dusty and decrepit. There's a chest at the foot of his bed. There's a trapdoor, and there's like a big 4-post bed in there. And in the chest, I had like a blade trap. For the life of me, I can't remember if they disarmed it or if it shot off. I think they opened it with a pole, actually. I think that's what they did. And then the blades shot up into the ceiling. So in the chest, I had them roll the treasure hoard in the new DMG. This one here on page 121. And they came up with 440 platinum pieces. I think it was supposed to be like 4,400 gold, but I'm like, let's have it all be platinum. This is cool. And then there was a relic and an armament, and I had them roll for rarity, and looks like they got a very rare and an uncommon. So my son got because they'll each they'll each roll their treasure roll, right, to see who gets what. They'll obviously give the item to the person who it best fits, but they will like roll and be like, this is what I got. So my son got a manual of bodily health, and then I can't remember for the life of me what my friend got. Some uncommon armament. I think it was maybe some chainmail, like +1 chainmail or something. So they find this trapdoor, and it leads down, like the door opens and it's just like instant spiral staircase. Not instant like it showed up, but it starts right away. And they hear people down the stairs. Now we have a friend's kids, two more kids joining. I'm trying to think of their ages. 11 maybe? I don't know. Two more kids are joining the game. My friend's kids, because they wanted to try it out. And so they made characters. And so we were trying to think of how to find them. And my son had the idea of that we would find them in the dungeon of this castle. And I'm like, I had zero plans to do a dungeon, but because my son brought that up, I was like, okay, we're doing a dungeon. So they can hear people down these stairs, but I have it be a trap. So like right when you step on it, the stairs like go like that, and then it turns into like a slide. And I had them roll, I had it be a dex save 15 to see if you slide down the stairs, if you lose your footing, or if you can kind of hold on. So they slide down the stairs to my impromptu dungeon. So they slide down this, and then it's a hallway with jail cells on either side with 2 chests. So the 2 kids are here, but they're not kids because they're characters. And then there's stuff. So across from their jail cell, each one has a treasure chest with all of their items in it that they created. And I have the characters just level up to the same level everybody else is at. So yeah, each player is in their own cell, and they don't have anything. I told them they have like dirty straw and a stick, and the other one has like dirty straw and a spoon. And they're like, when do I get my items back? Because they painstakingly chose their weapons as they're making their characters. And I decided to just have their items in a chest across the hall from them. So the players rescue them, they get their gear back, and then you start hearing click, clack, like metal on stone grinding. and a whole bunch of skeletons come sliding down the stairs and just land in a big old pile because the stairs are still slanty, and then the fight is on. So I think one of them shoots a fireball like right off the bat and like blows up all the skeletons. And anytime I can, I love to have like tactile experiences. So like if you blow up a bunch of skeletons, there might be some bone dust. So I have them all roll a constitution check to see if the smoky bone dust like chokes them. And one of them failed, and so I had them be incapacitated for 1 minute. I was proud of that. Now on the far end of the hallway where it says wooden door, there's a bunch more skeletons like banging on the door, right? So they break down the wood door, and a bunch more skeletons come in, and my son just launches a fireball because they're just loving fireballs, and it blows them. Like, I think he kills like 9 of them, but I chose to have one of these guys, a flaming skeleton from 283 of the new monster manual. So I actually had really fun with the description of that because the fireball, like, it blows up and kills a bunch of the skeletons, and then there's like 3 or 4 skeletons left and a flaming one. And the ones that are not the flaming one just have completely blackened bones, but the one's on fire. And at this time, they weren't yet aware that there's anything special with that skeleton. But when they shoot him with stuff like a little patch of the, like they did a magic missile, right? So it puts out a little piece of the fire on him, but then it starts up again. Actually, that's next time because we stopped right in the middle of the battle. But I was really proud of the fact that there's 3 blackened skeletons and 1 flaming skeleton, and that it wasn't like a dead giveaway yet that skeleton's different than the others. And we hit our time, and with little kids playing D&D, we had to stop. So it was like this cliffhanger, like more skeletons break through the door, and one of them's on fire, and it's like, well, why are they on fire? And then there's another wooden chest at the end of the hall across the cell, and that is a mimic. So that comes in next session. And then I have a few questions going into the next section, which is how many people can this wagon hold, right? Because we just basically picked up 2 party members if these kids keep showing up. Now, speaking of showing up, we had the warlock, which is the cousin, drop out of the campaign, like actually let us know he's not going to come. So at this point, I'm not yet sure how I want to deal with that character. So I have a few different things I've thinking. The next session, I definitely solidify on what I want to do. But I'm like, okay, he walks away, he gets killed in some epic way. And so what do you do if a character just tells you they're straight up done? Like, how do you story-wise get rid of them? I know the answer that I chose, but during this session I didn't, so that'll be in a future video. Anyway, this has been session 46 of my son's campaign, looting the Red Wizard's bedroom after they kill him and going into a dungeon that I had not planned on until my son brought it up as a good way to introduce these two friends. So how do you introduce new players when they show up, and how do you exit players when they decide to stop showing up? So anyway, thank you for watching, and stay tuned for more of my son's campaign that I'm DMing for, and also more of the Army Veterans group that I'm also DMing for. I need to catch up on those videos. So we'll see you on the next one. Bye. And say bye. Bye.